I certainly don't know what I'm doing. Hello. I'm back on YouTube. I've done a couple of streams on Twitch now, and I genuinely don't believe one person came and watched. Which, you know, I'm not expecting to have absolutely loads of people coming to watch me on Twitch. I don't have an audience there whatsoever. But it is so difficult trying to stream, knowing there's nobody watching. Absolutely nobody. So I've come back on YouTube. We'll see if our connection remains stable and we don't get completely disconnected from the YouTube server. I have changed which server I'm connected to as well. So I'm certainly hoping that improves to the stability of the stream and can mean I don't make any more rash decisions and we can stay on YouTube. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Ugh, I feel like a right wally. Oh, Christian Vega looks pretty good, doesn't he? He certainly does look pretty good, but the first match of today's live stream is against Newcastle United. Of course it is. Things have changed around here. We currently sit in 5th position, fighting for Champions League football. Newcastle United are sitting in 6th, fighting for Champions League football. This is going to be starting 11 for today. Then Jack Butland in goal, Rasmus Nissen Christiansen, Newen Perez and Benjamin Clark with Munoz in the defence. Dobson and Matthias Jakobsen in the midfield. Abdul Kadir Omar, Sergio Gomez, Batista Maya and Sebastiano Esposito leading the line. They come at us with a 4-1-2-3. Geronimo Rulli Correa. We tried to sign him actually. Not on this save. It was on a different save. Never mind. Let's move on. And see how we get on against Newcastle United. Of course, they defeated us twice in the Championship last season. So we need some revenge. We need to get them back and see if we can win. Benjamin Clark goes close from a corner straight away. Opening 20 minutes or so looking pretty positive in our favour from going by the match stats, but St. Maximin plays in a corner. We do get it clear and Abdul Kadir Omar can bring it away down his right hand side. He turns back after being pressed by a couple of Newcastle players there. And we played about the defence and find Batista Maya on the left hand side. He sets away Esposito. Oh, what a last ditch challenge that was by the defender on a yellow card as well in the box. Could have quite easily given away a penalty. But he doesn't, and now it looks like it's going to be Newcastle on the counter-attack. Guilavogi to Jix. Jix? He hit the post, whatever way. $15 minutes to go. Christiansen on his right-hand side, plays it back to Dobson. Jakobsen. That was a little bit silly, and Alan St. Maximin can bring it forward for Newcastle United. He's in behind and he goes wide. I think he was the man who causes all sorts of problems in the game against them in the Championship. We will drop back from an attack and team mentality to something a little more positive and try not get caught out on the break so much. Lise Mousset brings it in the box. Great challenge by Munoz. Comes out to Thierry. Mousset's there. Butland with a big save. Oh, Omar picks up a knock on that right hand side. We will look to get him straight off. We'll bring on Felix Correa on that right hand side. No issues with that. Big kick up from us. Batista Maya wins it in the midfield. He dances past a couple, plays it out to Gomez. You've got Christiansen on this right hand side if we need him. Both of our wing backs offering themselves out in the wings, but Esposito's through. Oh, Esposito, please. Got to get that goal. Sunderland 0, Newcastle 0. I'm far from pleased. I am far from pleased. I mean, both of us newly promoted sides, so we can't expect to be dominating them, but not a corner counter. Oh, Jakobsen, please, no. We're down to 10. Oh, I've got such a headache already. Why have we done this to ourselves? Going to drop Sergio Gomez into the central midfield role. Put our wing backs on support rather than attack as we just try and survive. We'll try and survive for this last, 40 minutes with 10 men. Why is it always against Newcastle? Why? Come on, boys. Felix Correa sets through Esposito again. Seb, lad. Sebastiano Esposito's 11th goal of the season. And with 10 men, we go 1-0 up against Newcastle United. We need this win now. What a finish this is, by the way. Tight angle. We're going to go back to balanced. I don't want to go on the counter just yet. Or maybe I do. They've went to attacking. We will go on the counter. Munoz to Batista Meyer on this left-hand side. Don't lose it there. Benjamin Clark wins it. We do give it away, though. Oh, Christensen wins it. Sergio Gomez to Felix Correa. Ah, boys, please don't do this to me. Nah, it goes over. Fine, we're fine. Don't worry about it. 20 minutes left. 15 minutes left. This is fine by me. Absolutely. Oh. Benjamin Clark gets clear at the back post. Butland. Oh, Jack. Why have you done this? Ah. We get rid of the initial corner. Jack Butland. I tell you what. He's had some dreadful games for me so far. He's had some good games as well. But I'm a little bit concerned with him. Now can we survive and pinch a point? That's all that matters now. 5 minutes to go. Time is ticking away. They've gone very attacking. 4 minutes left. Oh, it's a free kick. Oh, he's not offside. Butland again. You should be doing a lot better with that free kick. Sunderland 1, Newcastle United 2. And we still await our first victory against Newcastle in 3 games now. Defeat every single time. But that defeat lies pretty much solely on Matthias Jakobsen's feet. Getting sent off for the entirety of the second half pretty much has well and truly screwed us. He can consider himself dropped. Ballymumba will be returning to our preferred starting 11. Matthias Jakobsen, why have you done that? You know what, he's been performing pretty well. Jakobsen has. But we dropped Ballymumba for him. We put faith in Jakobsen. And he's just screwed us. Only 2 days to go before we face Crystal Palace away. Hopefully we can bounce back quickly from that. But that's now 2 defeats on the bounce. And as we've spoke about before, one of the things with Football Manager is defeats breed defeats, wins breed wins. And we are well and truly in the defeat camp right now. Crystal Palace just outside the relegation zone, but we are away from home. I'd take a point. I'm downgrading expectations. I'd take a point. Only a few weeks away before we can start looking at the approach to sign list, which I am very excited about. Hopefully there is some improvements we can make to our squad through those players. And I will be searching pretty extensively in it. Southampton at home after this Crystal Palace game will be a game where we will be looking to win. Khalees is still improving despite not being in the first 11 anymore. And for those of you who don't know, Benjamin Clark is my new project. Came through our youth academy in the very first season. He's currently wanted by Manchester United. High potential centre half. I've just been chucking him in. He's already started 8 Premier League games this season. And he's done pretty well. I think that is going to be our team for today's game. Unfortunately, we are missing a couple of players. Abdul Kadir Omar is out. Obviously, Jakobsen is out. And away from home against Crystal Palace, we're going to go start attacking, as we always do. And we'll see if we can maybe keep it up. "15 minutes gone. Not looking too bad so far. I mean... Hello? Football Manager? Hello? 35 minutes in. You haven't showed me anything yet. Looks like we're pretty much cancelling each other out, in all honesty. First highlight of the game, 42 minutes in. We're on the attack down the left-hand side. Ballymunba back to Munoz. Sergio Gomez whips it in. Esposito's there. And Esposito gets his 12th goal of the season and puts us 1-0 up with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Yeah, I'll wait another 42 minutes for one of them. Absolutely fine by me. Sergio Gomez picking out that decent little cross. And Esposito getting his head onto it. There is a highlight straight from kickoff. It's not usually a great sign. Townsend coming down the right hand side. Milivojevic to Maya to Gojak. Esposito wins it. He's in behind. The defenders won't catch him. Sebi boy. 13 goals for the season. His second goal of today's game. I need to sign him permanently, don't I? How am I going to do that? It's going to cost too much money. But he's so good. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Completely changes the outlook of this game going into half time. Absolutely buzzing with how things are going. We're putting that Newcastle result behind us. We don't need to think about it anymore. Some good work on this left-hand side. Munoz plays it in. Esposito should be getting his hat-trick there. Or at least getting it on target. Christiansen bringing it out from the back. Just don't give it away. Ballymunba plays it out to Felix Correa on this right-hand side, who cuts in. Plays an Esposito, shoots out to Munoz. Bury this. Oh, he hits the post. It's cleared. We are going to go off attacking, even though it's working. I just don't want to be caught in the counter like this. The effect hasn't taken place yet. Perez wins it. Munoz wins it. Ballymunba picks it up. Come on, boys. Sergio Gomez. Absolute midfield maestro to Munoz on this left-hand side. Gets dispossessed. Back to Benjamin Clark. Goes all the way back. Dobson to Gomez. Back to Ballymunba. Nice little play out to Christiansen on this right-hand side. Felix Correa whips it in. Esposito was there, saved by the keeper. He needs his hat-trick. He deserves his hat-trick. He's had a good couple of opportunities now to get the 3rd goal. Hopefully he will be successful at some point. Corner for Crystal Palace. Oh, they hit the bar. That's a goal kick. Nervy times. We'll bring on Marcinski for Sergio Gomez. We'll bring on Ivan for Rasmus Nissen Christiansen. Ten minutes to go. Can we hold out for a big away 3 points? 5 minutes. Come on, boys. You can do this. And we're going to do it. Another 3 points, another win. Absolutely fantastic to put our running defeats to an end. Away from home, another 3 points is absolutely huge. Even against a team struggling like Crystal Palace. We've got to value every single point we get on the road. And there is the league table. Still sitting in 5th. 3 points behind Manchester City and Manchester United in 4th and 3rd. And we can't complain about that. How's Conor O'Connor doing? Still improving quite nicely. So we've got 7 days to go until the Southampton game at home. Hoping for another win. Abdul Kadir Omar should be back fit for that, our right winger. Which is a key point. We need to get him back in the squad, back playing. He is pretty pivotal to how we play in the final third. Even if he's not contributing all the goals and assists, he is pretty handy combining with Rasmus Nissen Christiansen, our right back, who likes to overlap, which is what we want him to do. There's George Dobson completing his player trait training. So he does now come deep to get the ball. What do we want him to do now? His passing ability is not great. Let's have a look, see what our options are. 1-2s, absolutely delightful. So he will now start to train to try and play 1-2s. Which I think will work pretty well with the likes of George Dobson, obviously playing in the asymmetrical defensive midfield position. He combines quite a lot with our wing back, whilst also combining with the central midfielder and the centre backs as well. So him having that player trait should help us theoretically control possession and keep it, more importantly. Hello Tom. Yes. Tail between my legs, back on YouTube. You know, I streamed on Twitch for a good few hours and it was just rough, man. Obviously, being a new Twitch channel, not having any viewers. You know, I'm not even comments I'm not needing, just knowing somebody's watching is enough. So I'm going to try out YouTube again. I'll investigate any network connectivity issues we have. We seem to have been pretty okay for the first 20 minutes or so of this stream. It's just I'm hoping even connectivity issues are fine as long as I don't get disconnected. That's the only thing. But we'll see how it goes. To be honest with you, if it doesn't work itself out on YouTube in terms of the connectivity stuff, I might just have to sack live streaming off completely and just put all the efforts and stuff into video creation instead. But we do have Southampton at home next, and then West Ham in the League Cup quarter-final after that. I'm hoping for 3 points against Southampton here. They are sitting in 9th, so they're having a decent season themselves. But our home form, bar the Newcastle United game, has been pretty good. So I'm hoping we can keep that going for as long as possible. Matthijs Jakobsen has been dropped due to his red card, even though he's now available for selection. Kalisa comes out for Benjamin Clark. He's been playing fantastically, by the way. Averaging a 7.12 for an 18-year-old centre-back. That's as raw as he is. It's absolutely phenomenal. I do want Jose Gomes on the bench, though, so we will make that change and get him on. Munoz does sometimes get towards the end of games being absolutely knackered. Right, come on then. Southampton have Olivier Giroud, the legend, sitting up top. Don't recognise too many changes from their regular starting 11. That Jan Valery, who's playing at right back, is a pretty good player. As of course is Ward-Prowse and the likes of Ryan Bertrand. So the first 35 minutes have gone okay. We'll get our first highlight. Tell you what, lads. Sergio Gomez is the real deal. And of course we already know Esposito is the real deal, but he has provided us with so many assists already this season. It's a little bit ridiculous. And Esposito has been one of the main benefactors of that. As he picks up an injury, we'll bring on Antonin. Come on, Antonin, show us what you can do. You did in the Championship when Esposito was injured. Gomez again with a free kick. Antonin couldn't get his header on target. Not like Esposito or whatever. And now we have it then. Sunderland AFC 1, Southampton 0. I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up, lads. Does look like Jack Butland's having a good game in goal, so that would suggest that Southampton are getting themselves some pretty good opportunities. "25 minutes to go. Can we hold out and get ourselves another massive 3 points?" Just saying, Leeds are beating Manchester City there, which, although we're not quite talking about Champions League qualification yet, we are in that conversation 16 games into the league season, so there's no reason why we can't keep an eye out on it as Gineppo brings the ball down the left-hand side for Southampton. Benjamin Clark rises highest and gets it clear to Batista Maya. Comes down the left-hand side, gets dispossessed by Ward-Prowse. And that is the one player who I'm having some issues with. Batista Maya hasn't really continued the sort of great form he had in the Championship in the Premier League as of yet. I'm hoping that that will maybe steadily improve over the course of the season. Obviously, he's not our set piece taker anymore. Sergio Gomez is pretty much our first choice for most situations. So maybe that is the thing that is causing Batista Maya to not have as high as average ratings as he would last season. Valerie in the box hits the defender, and Batista Maya can bring it away. Come on, play him through, Oliver. He finds Felix Correa on this right hand side. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Plays it back to George. Oh. Out to Munoz. I mean, we are so clumped up in the centre, it is a little bit unreal. Dobson to Sergio Gomez. There's the killer through ball and in. Oh, good save by Gunn. 8 minutes to go. Don't throw it away now, lads. Tighten up. It's a bit late. Oh, Butland with a save. We have ourselves a Southampton corner. Ward-Prowse plays it in. Benjamin Clark is there. An absolute man mountain. And he clears. And with only 5 minutes to remain, we will make our... we've already made 3 subs. Sam, what are you doing, man? Now we have a time is taken away. Sunderland 1, Southampton 0. Passionately tell the boys, well done. Thanks for the win. And we move on to our next tie, which is away from home against West Ham United in the League Cup quarter-final. I'm wondering where that puts us in the league, though. If Manchester City did get beat, we don't go above them. But they are only ahead of us on goal difference. We're 1 point behind Manchester City in third. 4 points behind Arsenal in second. And we're doing pretty well, lads. The 3 newly promoted sides, Sunderland, Newcastle and Brentford, all occupying the Europa League spots right now. The Premier League is maybe not as tough as it once was for newly promoted teams. But yeah, Batista Maya, he should be good. And he's doing okay. 6.97 is not the worst thing in the world. It is actually higher than Abdul Kadir Omar on this right-hand side. But I've certainly felt the impact of Omar more than I have for Batista Maya so far. But it has been the Sergio Gomez show for pretty much the entirety of this season. He is a little bit unbelievable. So Seb is out for 1 to 2 days, which should mean he is fit for the game against West Ham. So that shouldn't be too big of a concern. Gonna have to put my gigs on. Got a read headache. You do get some glare off the computer monitor, as you can see, but it's gonna have to be. So how's everybody doing today anyway? How's lockdown treating you? Now that I've returned back to work over the past couple of weeks, I'm certainly dealing a little bit better with the self-isolation stuff. Right then. Got West Ham tomorrow. Norwich and then Brentford. 2 big away games there. Oh, David Batalla. Can you remember when we had him at Barnsley? I would love to sign him permanently. Really, really well-rounded centre-back. Oh, sugar. Just submitted me team without even considering changes. Oops. Thankfully, it's pretty much a full-strength side we've got out. I would like to make it to the League Cup semi-finals, if at all possible. It might not be, but, you know. We'll wait and see. First highlight of the game comes 40 seconds in. It's West Ham on the attack down this right-hand side. Ballymumble goes out there and has limited effect. Zambabu goes for goal. What's the best save I've done, Tom? What, on this year's FM? It's probably his ones that's not on YouTube, to be honest with you. Best save I've had has been a network save with a friend where I managed Sampdoria and he managed Torino. I think I'd won the Champions League within 3 seasons, and I'd won Serie A, maybe I think it was 4 seasons out of 6, something like that. The squad that I have on that is a little bit ridiculous. It does involve Esposito. Trying to think any other big players that we've had in other saves. None of these boys that I've got in the current starting 11 for Sunderland were involved. Sergio Gomez and stuff wasn't. But yeah, probably Sampdoria. In terms of YouTube, alright, it's got to be Yo-Yo, man. It's the furthest I've gone. The Sheffield United Sir Alex Ferguson challenge wasn't too bad. I did sort of fall out of love with it a little bit during the middle though, so it wasn't. It certainly wasn't as great as the West Ham one the year before. All-time Football Manager best saves. There was a Sunderland one on FM 2005, I believe it was. That's Felipe Anderson scoring, where I signed Dimitar Berbatov on a free transfer from Bayer Leverkusen. I'm sure this was FM 2005. And Juan, the centre-back from Roma, on a free. And they were absolutely world-class players. We won everything. And that was the save. FM 2005 was the game that really got into my head. I mean, I'd played versions of Football Manager since probably about 98, something like that, Championship Manager, but that was the FM 2005 was the one that got me hooked to the point where I had to have a computer. But yeah, when I'm playing Football Manager these days, apart from saves on YouTube, it's got to be network games. I just love network games, although the slow, the laborious, the a nightmare to arrange. I just absolutely love it when you're getting a good network save. It's better than any single player Football Manager save I've had. Especially when you're competing in the same league with a sort of similar level of team. Esposito was in behind. Come on, Seb. Oh, cheers, Reese. I'm hoping this becomes our best save, Sunderland. Obviously, Yo-Yo, man, I'm not sticking at one club, so you can't really build a side, whereas this Sunderland team, I can build it. I do want to try and get as many academy prospects into the first 11 as quickly as possible as we can. That's why we're starting Benjamin Clark, one of the first regens to come through at the club at centre-back. Despite him not being good enough for the Premier League, I'm going to give him as much game time as humanly possible. Oh, Abdul Kadir goes close. But life in the Premier League is treating us pretty well so far. I think we're obviously going to stay up. Top half finish is looking pretty positive. European football's looking maybe. Before this game we were sitting in 5th. And we're going to penalties against West Ham. We'll let the gods decide our fate and see how we get on. We are going to speed this up though because it takes absolutely ages. Haller scores for West Ham, the first one. Esposito steps up for us. Come on, Sebi. He puts it away as well, 1-1. Felipe Anderson for West Ham. Okay, Jack Butland, you need to be a hero. Antonin steps up for us. Right. Come on, Jack. Yes, Jack boy. Butland is the man. Even though I was griefing him against Newcastle. So if he saves this, we're in a massive position. Xhaka does score. We need to keep our advantage here. Abdul Kadir Omar steps up and puts it in. Come on, Willock. Get a move on. Willock. If he misses this, we're through. Oh, Jack Butland. What a save, my son. And Jack Butland's heroics puts Sunderland into the League Cup semi-finals. Oh, I want to win it now. I want to win a domestic cup as soon as possible. Yeah, but in terms of academy-grown regens we've got coming in, Connor O'Connor could be one. 18 years old, unknown at Coventry. His potential's been downgraded again by our staff. His current ability looked great to me. Maybe his potential ability isn't quite there. So we'll have to keep an eye on him, see how he develops. And then Benjamin Clark is definitely going to be a top prospect. One of the main reasons I know is because top clubs are interested. So he's played 14 games in the Premier League already this season. 14 games all in, not in the Premier League. We've played 17 games in the Premier League. So we're almost halfway there. And we're currently sitting in 5th. I would bite your hand off for that. Who could we potentially be facing? Chelsea, Southampton or Liverpool in the League Cup semi-finals. Hopefully Southampton, please. Although we've already beat Chelsea this season. Liverpool smashed us though, as you would imagine. Or did they? Yes, they did. Rangers want Antonin here. They'll have to pay a bit more than £5.75 million to get him. Although I would be interested in selling him for a decent enough fee if it allowed us to reinvest into the rest of the squad. Another couple of weeks to go. And then we can start looking at approach lists. Which I'll probably spend about half an hour doing before ending the stream. What can I do to try and sign Esposito? His contract, he's got another 3 years left on his deal at Inter Milan, so that's a no-go. It's all, he's worth £12 million and all. They're going to want an absolute fortune. Jakobsen is improving, which is nice to see. He's becoming a better centre-back. I'm not training you at centre-back, mate. I'm training you in central midfield. That's fine, though. Any improvement is good improvement. So here we go, then. Norwich City away from home. What we're looking like. Ivan in for Rasmussen and Christensen due to suspension. Benjamin Clark's out for suspension as well. So Kalisa comes in at centre-back. Munoz. Sergio Gomez doesn't play in central midfield. Assistant manager. Shall I bring him back in, Jakobsen? I think I will. Despite him being sent off against Newcastle, I think he's better than Ballimumba. Yeah, he's got much better passing ability and better physicals. So we'll get to the game against Norwich. It will be absolutely another huge win if we can get it. Passionately tell the boys I have faith. And keep an eye on this first offer as lads while I nip the loop. Hello, hello, hello. We're still not 1-0 up. Are you joking? How's the game been going? Looks pretty even. Don't like the fact that Jack Butland's on a 7.2. Probably means he's been quite busy. Perez defending pretty well there, but Norwich keep possession. Oh, Zimmerman dilly-dallies on the ball and George Dobson pinches it. And our counter-attacking threat there got completely nullified as he went back to the defence, thankfully. Omar picks it up. Augustinsen's holding him up. Esposito's there. And Sebi Boy gets his 16th goal of the season and puts us 1-0 up. Excuse me. Whoa. Oh, they missed a penalty. You didn't tell us that. That's why Jack Butland had such a high rating. Well, he's had plenty of practice in the past couple of games, hasn't he? Bentaleb to Svanberg. Got so much space on this right hand side. Roberts cuts in though. Jack Butland with a comfortable save. Here, Comedy Gamer 365. I am back to YouTube. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, I was streaming on Twitch. I only streamed 3 times. And I genuinely don't think anybody watched it. Which, although I don't need the comments and stuff, I can waffle on for hours on end talking about now. I thought I'll try and work out through these YouTube connectivity issues and continue the series here. I just prefer it, in all honesty. Because at least somebody watches it here. But I was just saying earlier on, if we do end up continuing having some proper issues on YouTube, I might just have to knock the live streaming on my head and just put all my focus into YouTube videos. I'll be fine with that, honestly. But at least for now, we're going to stream on YouTube. We've been streaming for about 40 minutes now, and we haven't disconnected yet, which is a positive sign. We'll see if that continues, though. We've actually done pretty well with Sunderland so far this season. Currently sitting in 5th in the league, and if we win this game we could rise even higher. And Sebastiano Esposito is just broken. All I've done, Comedy Gamer, is I've changed, well, I've disconnected myself from YouTube and then reconnected to the, so I'm essentially on a different server, I believe is how it works. So hopefully it was just an issue between me and whichever server I was connecting to before, and hopefully it fixes the issue. It seems to have. We haven't had any problems so far this stream. Offside, not 3 now. But yeah, I would love to continue this on YouTube, purely down to the fact that more people see it. More people see it, more people engage in the comments and stuff. And at the end of the day, that's all I'm wanting. Four minutes to go on this one. This will be another huge win if we can get it away from home. Walker Peters on this right hand side. Oh, Jack Butland with a decent little stop there. Corner for Norwich though. Bruno Tabata plays it in. Zimmerman goes just wide. 4 minutes left. It's looking good, lads. Esposito's away. Plays it to Felix Correa. Out to Ivan. Whip it in back post. Don't shoot from there. I'm sick of telling you. Marcinski brings the ball forward. Out to Munoz on this left hand side. Back to Marcinski in the box. Out to Dijek. goes wide. 2 minutes remain. Come on, Sergio. Nice free kick here. Free kick, corner. That was offside. 100% offside. Yeah, it's probably right, Tom. I was looking, and there was a good 20 or 25 streams, all on Football Manager 2020, all on Twitch at the same time. And obviously you've got the big boys over there, having a good few hundred viewers. And I know Football Manager isn't the most popular game in the world, so it is tough. And it's one of the reasons why I live stream on Twitch first. Not Twitch, YouTube, because obviously I have my own little audience here. If even a few of them showed up, that would be absolutely fantastic. And whilst Twitch is probably the better platform for live streaming, doing it on YouTube and keeping it all within the one channel and the one hub does actually help with analytics and stuff like that. Comedy Gamer, what do you mean? How's it going with your Norwich save? Oh, just a Norwich win there. I mean, we were a little bit fortunate there. They missed a penalty 11 minutes in. And Esposito seemed to be the only difference between the two sides in the end. How's it going with Norwich anyway? Oh, a Liechtenstein regen. Don't think I've ever had a Liechtenstein regen. Might be one to keep an eye out on. Nissen Christiansen will probably be out for the next game, which not ideal. Ivan's a decent enough little backup though. So Brentford are a newly promoted side alongside ourselves. They are doing pretty well as well, currently sitting in 7th while we sit in 5th, sorry. So it'll not be an easy game this away from home. And then we've got Liverpool away after that. We can just had a tough start. Well, I think the Norwich side, you've got a good couple of youngsters there. Is it Max Aarons at Norwich? I think he's signed for Man City on mine. Got to spend £100 million on the summer on mine as well. Yeah, Max Aarons signed for Man City for £77 million on mine, so if you're desperate for cash, Max Aarons is your man. We'll extend them loan deals, keep some of our fringe players out on loan, get them first team football. Oh, not George Dobson. We do want to play Matthias Jakobsen in centre midfield. Benjamin Clark returns to the starting 11. Other than that, looks like a pretty strong first 11, as strong as we can put out anyway. Rasmus Nissen Christiansen injured. Abdul Kadir Omar also injured. So Brentford, let's see how this goes. Another 3 points would be absolutely massive, as every 3 points is. Now that's it. You can build yourself a whole new squad with 77 million. As we go 1-0 down 2 minutes in. Dominic Thompson's first goal of the season. Not liking how this is going so far. We'll go off attack and go to positive. Look to regain a little bit of the possession. Batista Maya with a corner. Esposito's there, back close to Benjamin Clark. And Benjamin Clark gets his second goal of the season. I'm thinking this lad might be our centre-back for the rest of his career. Genuinely. If he progresses how I'm imagining in my mind, with him being an academy graduate, an English talent, I see no reason why I would want to sell him. Just hopefully he can really improve his marking. His mentals are obviously pretty poor, but physically he's decent enough already. First half wasn't the worst, wasn't the best. I'm relatively content with how things are going. I would probably take a point in a game like this. But obviously, I am greedy, and I do want 3. Brentford coming down. Gia De Silva switches the player. Oh, dear me. Dear me. Sergei Canos with his 3rd goal of the season, putting Brentford back in front. We will go attacking from this point, I think. Matthias Jakobsen's not having a great game in central midfield, so we will take him off for Ballymumba. Neither of our wingers are having particularly good games either. We don't really have too many options off the bench. Those Jose Gomes comes down the left-hand side and gets dispossessed by Thompson. Thankfully, the clearance was pretty poor, and we can bring it forward ourselves with Sergei. Oh, dear me. That was on the line for a little bit longer than was comfortable. 10 minutes to go. We'll have to make some changes. Who's going to be the changes though? Is Philippe coming on that right hand side? See if he can make the difference. We will start pushing for this. Actually, run at defence, be a bit more expressive. See if our boys can get ourselves back into this, or we're going to suffer defeat away from home against Brentford. Antonin, go on, get yourself on. Nah. It wasn't a B. Brentford 2, Sunderland 1. Not the greatest performance by us, by any stretch. That does not set us up nicely going away from home against Liverpool. Got a week to go, so we don't need to rest our players, thankfully. Then once the Liverpool game's done, we are just going out on the search for players. We are going to be absolutely combing through the contracts expiring list, and I'm hoping to find some gems. This is our 3rd season into the game. I'm not really sure if there's any like major players whose contract runs out 3 years in after the start of the game. I'll have to keep an eye. But we'll wait and see. Our board did increase our transfer revenue that was made available. So now if we do make any player sales, we will get 80%. Which I'm hoping might come in handy. In terms of areas of improvement, it's got to be central midfield, doesn't it? If I'm not going to play Ballymumba every game, central midfield's got to be the place we look. And I already fancy Nicholas Capaldo, but he would cost us £6.5 million, and we don't have that sort of money. Financially, we do have £12 million in the balance, and we are projected to go up and up. So maybe if I ask the board really nicely, they might give me a Christmas present. Should I ask them? Keep your fingers crossed. Oh. Oh. Yes. I am absolutely satisfied. They won't let me increase it. How we are, lads. If you don't ask, you don't get. We now have £22 million to spend. It's about to be a lot more fun. I wonder if they'll increase our wage budget as well. Might be being a bit greedy here. No, another one. See if they'll increase the percentage of transfer revenue though. 95% now. Oh, lads, we're in a good position. So we can sign Nicholas Capaldo if we choose to. How's Iliax Mariba doing? Is he getting game time at Barcelona yet? he's not. Oh, please let me have him. Let me have him. Let me have him. No, 79 million. 20 million. Well, I think we only had how much did we spend? 30? Oh, we spent about 45 million. So I'm thinking we'll make Oliver Batista Myers loan deal permanent for £3.5 million. We can sign Nicolas Capaldo. If he is the central midfielder for me, we'll have to search for 6.5. We'll obviously have to put some into the wage budget because we don't have that much available in the wages. And then apart from that, maybe we start a banker to try to save it to try and make Esposito permanent. But yeah, you never know, we might be able to find some expiring players who we can agree a contract with, bring them in the January. So this board have been pretty nice. How many nations do you set up at the start? I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head. I know I pretty much max out the player cap. That's not how we check. Game status. So I have England, Germany, Italy, Holland, Portugal, Ireland, Scotland and Spain. But then I also have what do I also have? I think it's about, what's the limit? Is it 125,000 players before it starts saying your computer's going to burn? I think about 125,000 players available. So all of South America, pretty much. I pretty much focus on South America and Europe in terms of making players available. If I ended up buying an absolutely beastly desktop PC, I would go absolutely nuts with players, like. Absolutely nuts. Unfortunately for now, my little laptop will have to keep us going with 100,000 players. So a couple of shortlisted players' contracts are running out. This guy from Galatasaray. He looks decent enough at 17 years old. And he has 5-star potential according to me scouts. Breakthrough. I probably wouldn't get a work permit. But he's likely to actually probably join the club even without one. So we're going to offer that contract. Valentino Salduco. I'm not so keen on him. I'm not so keen. But we'll play through this Liverpool game. Then we will go on the hunt. See what we can find. We will make Felix Correa a winger when he is in that position. And that is going to be our starting 11. Benjamin Clark returns to the starting 11. Bali Mumba comes in at central midfield for Matthias Jakobsen. And we face Liverpool away from home. How many are we getting beat by? They beat us 3-0 at home. So how many in this one? 6? Chamberlain gets dispossessed by Felix Correa. Come on, boys. Counter-attack of dreams. Oh, not for Liverpool. For us, man. Chamberlain brings us down the left-hand side. Gets into the box. Takes a strike. And he goes well wide. Mo Salah, Naby Keita and Chamberlain all combining on this right-hand side. They're in the box. Gabriel Barbosa. He's not offside, which I was secretly hoping. Oh, not the greatest of starts. 9 minutes in. You only think 5, Tom? You're being a bit generous there. I don't know what it is with Liverpool. Like, we've competed against Man City. We did get beat, but we competed against them. We got beat off. We beat Chelsea. We beat Spurs. But there's something about Liverpool. Obviously, a clear above quality. We just can't compete against them. And I keep going cautious, and it never works. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go positive. Try and take this game on the front foot. We do have some quality in our squad. See how much we get punished. Nakajima goes close. Jack Butland with a save from the free kick. I have a laptop, Comedy Gamer. It's a laptop I bought from PC Specialist. It is a good laptop, a very, very good laptop. But obviously not ideal for streaming and stuff with FM. Going back in time, I'd rather have spent the same money on a desktop PC, but I like having a laptop. I like being able to play Football Manager on the settee. As Mo Salah puts Liverpool 2-0 up. We'll just skip through that. You know what? When we get the ball, we're just lumping it. We're going for it. We are going for it. Now, we will either get beat 6-0 or level things up at 2-2. Which option do you think is going to happen? Divock Origi's 11th goal of the season. I'll just skip through that. Just pretend you haven't seen this game. Just pretend like it didn't exist. Divock Origi again down the left-hand side. Naby Keita. Oh, what a save by Jack Butland. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? Nakajima with the corner. Marcinski clears. You're getting close with your 5, Tom. You might want to increase your prediction here. There's still 40 minutes to go in this game. Oh, I thought it was going to be at least an opportunity for us. Would have been nice to see. But Naby Keita bombing down. Oh. Jesus. Oh, wait, George. We don't need to be giving them penalties as well. Gabriel Barbosa steps up. And Gabriel Barbosa scores. Oh. I predicted 6. Tom predicted 5. Who's going to end up being the winner? Here we go again. Virgil. Oh, Gabriel Barbosa goes for an early strike and goes wide. We'll go back to positive. Maybe 5. I'm still saying 6. Although it looks like they've maybe took the foot off the gas a little bit here. 15 minutes to go. We haven't conceded in quite a while. 10 minutes left. We'll make our changes. Not to chase the game, just to keep people fresh. Shouldn't have started Benjamin Clark in this game, should I? He's going to be scarred mentally. Have we genuinely had a highlight that was actually us on attack? I don't think we have. What was that? Rasmus! What was that? Let's slow this down. Headed clear by Jakobsen. Firmino shoots. It's a great save by Butland. Uh-huh. Oh, thought that was going to be 6. Thought I was winning. Matt, come on, boys. Get one back for pride. Rasmus, your horse. Ah, he's give the ball away and it's going to be a Liverpool counter. Gabriel Barbosa It causes all sorts of problems all game. Thankfully not this time. Close one this. Close game. Close. Very close. Go on, Esposito. Oh, he's at the post. You could have at least just got us one. Come on, Antonin. You can do it. Oh, Alisson with a save. I just like to score against them. That's all I want in life. To be able to score against Liverpool. Right, I'll take a little bit of ownership for this result. We did play a little bit differently than how we usually would. Well, 5-0, Tom. It looks like you were pretty spot on. Come on, get one back. 4 seconds. Boot it, George. Ah, that's it. We're watching that own goal again. Because that was... Let's move on. Hello, Matty, mate. How's it going? Now, Tom, you've got prophetic powers, mate. You need to start putting your bets on again once the league season kicks in. Right now, lads. Now's the time we go on a hunt. We go on our very own scouting missions. So, priority position, central midfield. So we're going to start there. The reason why I don't usually show this is because my laptop really starts to struggle when you're dealing with 100,000 players that it's sorting through. Thankfully, once you start narrowing it down, it does start picking itself back up. We'll see if there's anyone available on the approach list first. Carlos Alenia. Now, he's not quite the sort of player I would want. I know he's physically quite weak, but he could be a great backup option for central midfield and attacking midfield. He has picked up a pretty bad injury there with a damaged Achilles tendon, out for another couple of months. His injury history doesn't look too bad apart from that. 3 injuries this season, but they only look like pretty much minor ones. He is interested in talking to us as an important player. We could sign Carlos Alenia. I might get a contract offer in. We might not end up going through with it, but we'll wait and see. He's not getting a sell-on fee. I don't care what he says. Nobody gets a sell-on fee unless I'm desperate. You're not getting one, mate. Right, so Carlos Alenia might end up being a possibility. We won't be able to sign him in January. He will only be someone who could join us at the end of the season, as he is on loan at Stuttgart. He's playing pretty well in the Bundesliga, obviously before he's picked up this 2-month injury. I think he's the sort of player who would... Oh. Why have I never heard of this lad? Dejan Zukic. We've got to, haven't we? I mean, we'll wait for the scout report to come in to officially confirm it. But I think he's classed as a wonder kid by the media. We could potentially sign these two boys, Zukic and Alenia, and our midfield / attacking midfield will be sorted for absolute years. What do you think of him then? Because if Zukic accepts this offer, we'll be able to bring him in January And I'll look to play him in central midfield instead of attacking midfield, as we already have Sergio Gomez. And I think he looks, if he's got the potential, which I'm assuming he does have, being classed as a wonder kid, that's a no-brainer, isn't it? Now we'll look for deep-lying playmakers. I quite like them to have 8 out of 11 matching attributes. Carol Etting or Rui Perez. I've never heard of him. I can't believe I've never heard of him. The amount of times I've played through this point of a save, and I've never seen him once. So maybe he's someone who's not always high potential, but has the potential to be high potential, if you know what I mean. No good options there. We will reduce our attribute range, see who else pops up. English players are no good, or players who play in the English league, because we can't approach them. I'll get him scouted from Ajax. He looks maybe not first team quality, but at least squad quality. Ivan Illich, I recognise. Man City? Yeah. I don't think he progresses all that much. See who these clubs, see who these boys are wanted by. Any of them wanted by huge teams. So Rui Perez, who did show up in the initial, I'm not interested in him. I'm really not. No. I'm not really spotting any really good options here. Sorting by the technique. Yeah, it's no decent options in terms of people's contracts expiring. We will look for permanent transfers as well. The board did give us 22 million quid to spend, so we've got plenty. So a new defensive midfielder could end up being the position we actually end up signing. I would love to sign James Garner. I would absolutely love to sign him. His contract's got another 2 years to run. We could just sign him on loan, but then all we're going to do is end up increasing his own value. So I think we'll leave that. Marcus Antonio's an option. I've had him before. Ezequiel Palacios, of course, is at Bayer Leverkusen. He was one of the wonder kids you would sign every single time. Ludovic Rice I've signed before. Never actually managed him though. Fran Beltran's maybe an option. We'll get a couple of more options here. So we've got 62. I'm wanting to reduce that a little bit, so they're showing 9 out of 11 attributes. Who's showing up now? He's different. Nope. Sanderberg, he's valued at 18 million. We've got no chance of signing them kind of players. He doesn't look too bad. Daniel Bracanca. He's mediocrely well-rounded, not absolutely fantastic. Arne Meyer. Never had him. Matthias Fernandes. He looks pretty good, but he's valued at 20 million, so the likelihood is we wouldn't be able to sign him. Jean Lucas. I do like Ludovic Rice, and I would quite like to get him involved. His contract's got a lot of time to run out though, so we could maybe unsettle him. That could be an option. But who would get unsettled whilst playing for Barcelona and Sunderland coming for you? Would you really get unsettled? Rekdal. Fausto Vera, of course, we signed for Barnsley. He's out on loan though, so he wouldn't be an option for us this season. quite like the look of Idris Doumbia. Valued at 10.5 million though. Again, probably not the sort of player we would end up signing. Oh. Oh. He's unhappy as well. He's already unhappy. I like the look of Manuel Ugart. I think if we do end up signing anybody, it'll be this boy. Already a natural in the defensive midfield position, 20 years old, 19 determination. Decent enough stats. I would like him to work on his technique and his passing. He's a blank canvas in terms of player traits. I would want this boy to be dictating the tempo and switching. But he looks pretty good. Valued at 10.5 million though is the only real issue. Right, so we'll return back to the lists. Where else do we really need? We'll have a look for a centre back. See if there's anybody outstanding that pops up here. Obviously, we are persistent with Benjamin Clark, our young regen who came through the academy. Oh, goalkeeper ran. That's right. Jack Butland has made quite a lot of mistakes this season. He's had a good couple of games as well, to his credit, but not often enough. So Zagadou's available. Now I do like him. I do. It's just that acceleration. I really hate slow centre backs. I like to play a high line. And players like this are just absolute killers for it. He'd want silly money. Absolutely not. Is there anyone else I recognise here? I don't think there's. Lucas May I recognise from Bayern Munich. Hasn't really developed. Nobody by names. So we'll go off the approach list and we'll look at everybody and see if there's any class players kicking about. Let's have a look. Valentin Antov I've been looking at quite a lot. He's at Liverpool though, which is a bit of a problem. They're all good players and probably would improve our squad and our first 11, but are they, you know, the ones that you'd be keeping in your first 11 for years? I don't think they are. So on that basis, I'm not going to make a move for any of them boys. We'll have a look at goalkeeper. Did we have any good goalkeepers at Yo-Yo Man who weren't regens? I don't think we did we? I don't think we did. See, all these kind of goalkeepers, they're all just 10 a penny. We had a Naki Penna, didn't we? He's not very good. Alban Lafont, I know he's a pretty high potential goalkeeper, so we will get him scouted. Only valued at 2.7 million quid as well. Gasparini, now he is a high potential goalkeeper. He looks pretty decent as well, actually. Get him scouted. No. And no. So we've got a good couple of goalkeeping options there. We need to start thinking about strikers. I would like to sign Esposito permanently, and it might be something I attempt to do right now. But if we can't, which is highly likely, then we sort of need a backup option. See if there's anybody expiring. Matthias Godoy looks like a decent little player. Not necessarily for the first 11. I wouldn't mind bringing this sort of lad in. Oh, not 23.5k per week. Absolutely not. So I do believe Lewis Montenegro is still at the side he starts with. Is he an option? Is he someone we want to go back to? Got too many to look through here. $35. That's better. So there he is there. I don't think he's developed as well as he did with Omni Barnsley save. We'll get him scouted though. I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll try and sign Esposito right now. We'll chuck in a cheeky £10 million offer. The 171. So there we have our answer for Esposito. We'll not be signing him probably. Now, Ryan Brewster is a good player who I would want permanently. I'm not playing him on loan. I'm just not. We're already doing that with 47.5k. Again, not somebody for the first team, somebody for the under 18s. Would sign him for a couple of million. It's a bit too early to be thinking of that sort of thing, I think. I need to save every penny I can to improve the first 11 before I start looking at spending money for the... I mean, Guri would be an option, wouldn't he? I know he's good. I haven't managed him personally, but I've seen him enough to know that he improves pretty massively. So 37 million. I offered about 7. So the difference is about 23 million would get Amin Guri. Probably a bit too rich for us. Lassina Traore looks pretty good. It's just his mental sides that I let him down. I've never managed this guy this year, Kai Ho here. His pace is concerned. But apart from that, I'm relatively content. We'll get him for 18 million, no worry. Minimum fee release. That's how much they would want for him as well. See, the thing with striker is, although I would like to sign one, we do have Esposito till the end of the season, so we're not in any hurry. Fabio Silva, I've managed. He actually wasn't that good for me. There's got to be Niam, and Niam I recognise. João Pedro from Watford. He's always fantastic, but he always costs too much money because he's already in the Prem. Ronaldo Kamara, not a striker. Not in my book anyway. But a central midfielder. Abso-friggin-lutely. Guri flopped for you, Matty. I've never managed him yet myself. I've only ever seen the AI manage him. But I have seen him do pretty well. Particularly when he moves to Arsenal. And that is a regen who looks pretty tasty. Technique is outstanding already. Just his finishing really, isn't it? He's got some decent player traits on him. I would try and retrain that out of him and make him go around the goalkeeper. I don't like it when they lob. It's pointless. He does have the technique for it though. How much would you want for this lad? 1.5 million? So about 10. About 10. It's the sort of player we'll keep an eye on. What was his name? I've lost him. There he's there. Oh, scout's already in progress, man. I think that's enough for striker. I'll tell you what we are going to do. We're going to make Oliver Batista Myers loan deal permanent. He hasn't been unbelievable this season or anything, but £3.5 million for this level of player is an absolute no-brainer, and we have to make that deal happen. So he will be coming in the January transfer period. So obviously Carlos Elena won't be coming, but Dejan Zukic would come in and would immediately become our starting central midfielder. So that would be an improvement straight away. And beyond that point, it's just defensive midfield. That is my only concern, defensive midfield. And goalkeeper. Alright then lads, any of you's got defensive midfielders out there? Preferably deep line playmakers, but I would take anchormen, ball-winning midfielders, defensive midfielders. I know Fostover is good. I know that. Unfortunately, he is on loan at Real Sociedad. Capaldo is not a defensive midfielder, but I believe he can play there. And we could just potentially train him as a deep line playmaker. It is something he can do pretty comfortably. It wastes his good physical stats. That's the only thing. We will get a fresh scout report, because that one is pretty old. Defensive midfielders. Defensive midfielders. Bear in mind we are 3 seasons in as well. I want James Garner, you know. I just want James Garner. He's not the... He doesn't end up being the best player ever. But what he is, he's a pure playmaker. 15 technique, 15 passing, 15 first touch, 15 vision, 15 balance, 14 decisions. I mean, he's absolutely unbelievable. Noah Kenner is the best on your lead save, Tom. Or is it Kenneth? Is it Noah? Nohan. Right, oh, let's have a look. 18. He looks pretty good for 18. And he's ready to be a playmaker as well. He would need to improve his composure and his decisions. But physically he's well-rounded. Technically he's well-rounded. He looks pretty good at 18 years old. If we could bring him in for cheap. Cheap. Cheap doesn't exist for English players, unfortunately. I want the 60. We'll keep an eye on Noah Kenner, definitely. I might just end up loaning James Garner. So, if we sign Olivier Batista Meyer, that's our left wing covered. We've got Abdul Kadir Omar on the right hand side. He hasn't been phenomenal by any stretch, but he is very good attribute wise, and he's only 6 months into his stay here, so we need to give him time. So I'm not looking to replace him. Mainly centre back, isn't it? We could try and loan Benjamin Clark out now. He's had some game time in the Premier League. He's improved. We could maybe look to get him either League One or Championship football. But I wouldn't want to play Kalisa. I would need somebody. So centre back, Bella Kochap. Let's have a look, see what he's doing these days. He's still at Bosham, valued at £5 million. We'll get him scouted. Jerome Angin. Get him scouted from Salzburg. He's wanted by Dortmund. And he would be the one if I could just click my fingers and have one. £7 million. I don't want to commit just yet. Centre backs. David Batella. I really like him. He is still at Atlanta. Hasn't moved, but he's now valued at £8.5 million, and he is getting regular first-team football in Serie A, so that might be a bit of a no-go. Centre back. Them three are my main go-tos. So with Barnsley, who did I have in the Prem? I had Marcel Tisserand. Who did I sign alongside him? I can't even remember. It was a big player, wasn't it, at Barnsley? Alan Franco. I think he's already left. I think he's in China. He's at Leipzig. I knew he'd already went somewhere, so there's absolutely no chance of that. He's not getting first-team football, which is surprising. I would absolutely take him. Who was next? Birmingham City. Who did we sign at Birmingham City? Well, it was regens, wasn't it? By the time we get to Birmingham City, that's 5 years in. All the real players are not that young anymore. So we will look for regens. I think so. Our next best options. He looks pretty good. Philippe Banda, Kijan Huva, we always see. Marcus Carner, Jose Martinez. We've had before. He is very, very good. Very well rounded in his mentals, if not absolutely fantastic. But he more than makes up for that with fantastic physicals and decent technicals. He's worth 140k, minimum fee release clause of 18.75, and they would probably want 18.75 from, which I would not be willing to pay. We will go to 18-year-olds. I'm going to lower our requirements even further. David Vinhas, we always see from Porto. They'll want an absolute fortune for him, I already know. That is a regen. On loan from Monaco, we'll get him scouted. Nope. 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 Oh, Michael O'Connor. Now the bad thing for us is he's at Norwich. The good thing is we'll play him as target man. But he looks like he's going to be pretty good Australian centre back. No, not quite. 17. Again, these are at pretty major clubs, though, so it'll be difficult to be able to poach them. Alejandro Cortez. I mean, yes. Abso-friggin-lutely. Get them scouted. I would like to put an offer in for him, like right now. He's valued at 7k. Why did they want 27.5 million quid, man? I would have paid a couple of million for him. Nope. No. 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 Close. No. Right, we'll continue on. We'll get Batista Maya's contract sorted out. How much does he want? We don't know. This is a problem. Listen, you can have all the money if we qualify for the Champions League. Here's where the agent offers a non-negotiable contract. Oh, he didn't. He actually negotiated without being a twat about it. And you're not getting a sell-on fee. You're not getting a yearly wage rise. You can have everything else you want. But you're not getting those two factors. There we are. There's Oliver Batista-Meyer joining us for £3.5 million. Absolutely fantastic. And I will continue on until we get this Serbian in as well. Or at least his contract agreed. And do I bring in Carlos Alenia? Or do I not? He'd be on 40 odd K a week, which is a pretty big deal. And he wouldn't be a starter for me. Not if we get that Serb. Can't afford. Can't afford. Can't afford. Why does Buddy so just wind me up? Carlisle step up change. Denver Hume at the start of this season was valued at about 5.75 million. He's now down to 350k. He is probably going to leave the club at the end of the season though. Esposito wins under 21's Footballer of the Year. You know what it is? I'm going to try and unsettle him. Like a £5 million offer. Let's make Inter Milan the bad guy. Esposito claims European Golden Boy. Of course he does. Because he's Sebastiano Esposito. Now here's where the processing takes its time. A lot the game's working through. Rather than Barcelona negotiate with me. Nah, cancel.